I want to apologize to you guys for getting this video out so late. I hope that it finds you well, and I hope that either way, when I was shuffling out this spread, I got two images, and they are overwhelmingly positive images. So one is definitely related to your career. It's very clear, like it's very much related to your career, and then the other image is related to your love life, your romantic life, okay? So conveniently enough, the messages are just coming out that way, and I also feel like the cards are also echoing the same theme, okay, are also giving me the same types of information. And so it is going to be a really good month, Scorpio. You're going to be quite busy. I feel that. There's this sense of hopefulness coming into the picture for you for this month, and I feel that has in store for you. You're very much, I'm sensing, excited about the possibilities that are unfolding in front of you. And you're going to feel really good, okay? So there's a lot of travel, a lot of movement. So first of all, the two images that I saw is all about travel and all about movement. Travel in a physical way, traveling to either get things done, to meet up with people, to work. Traveling to also see people that you have an emotional connection with. So that's really good. And then in a more like a metaphysical sense, or in a more spiritual sense, this is a lot of movement and travel and progress as it relates to all the other parts of your life. The career front, moving forward. Okay, things are like falling into place. You know what you got to do. And then I also feel like the people that are around you, they're cooperative. Okay, you don't have to like fight against the tides or go against the wind. I feel like you're pretty much going to be coasting for this month. It's still very busy, but let me just explain the first image that I saw. I see this train, okay, and I love trains, by the way. I see this train, and it seems to me like it's in a like an Asian country. It seems like it could be India. Excuse me. It could be India. It could be somewhere in the tropics, where there's a lot of vegetation, where there's a lot of like new growth. Like greenery. The environment is very lush, is very green. So I see this train going through a countryside in maybe like an Asian country, possibly India. And I do see the people on the train. They have a darker complexion. Okay, so there are a lot of people. So what I'm seeing is a train from the colonial era. And if you're familiar with these trains, basically you have sleeping quarters, what they're called like couchettes, or like a sleeping, it's like a place where you have like a bunk bed, and you rent out a room, and then you can have your bed. And so it seems like it's an overnight train because people are going to want to sleep overnight, right? So it's a train with compartments where you can sleep. So there's like a compartment where you can sleep, and then you open the door, and that's where you get your privacy. And so I see this woman. She looks like she's, of European descent. So she looks kind of out of place in this environment because everyone has darker skin, and everyone looks different. And she definitely stands out. Her skin is lighter. She looks like she doesn't live there, like she's of European descent. She has a bonnet on. So this is like, I'm sensing the 1800s. That's what it feels like to me. 1800s, early 1900s. And she's walked out of her sleeping quarter into like the little hallway, and there's a window where you can kind of like look at the scenery, where the train is passing by. So she's there, and there are other people with their families also looking through the windows, and she sees like this little child that is of a different race than her. And she smiles to the child, and she looks out the window, and she's looking and marveling at the landscape that is, the rolling hills. I'm seeing the rice paddies, people working in the rice paddies. And then I'm also seeing like passing through orchards and passing through, places with really dense vegetation. So this is a very lush tropical environment with a lot of rainfall, where you have like an abundance in crops. And you have, it's like an agrarian society where people are still farming, so there's just a lot of really good, nice, dense vegetation. And she looks out the window, and then she sticks her head out the window because she wants to feel the wind on her face, the wind through her hair, and she is extremely, just very, very happy. I don't know where she's going. The way she's dressed, it doesn't seem like she's going anywhere where there's like a major event. I just feel like she's in this moment, enjoying the simple things, the pastures, the beautiful scenery, the people around her. And she's feeling very excited, and she's feeling just really hopeful. And she's feeling like things are moving, and she's, just the concept of like, feeling the wind in your hair. Even though she's got a bonnet on, it's like feeling the winds in your hair, feeling that sense of freedom, feeling that sense of immense peace kind of washing over her. Okay, so then the scene cuts out. The second scene that I saw was I see a young couple. And a lot of the times you can look at a couple and you can kind of tell like what stage of their relationship they're in. And this couple, they're very young, like, because I feel like they haven't been dating for a really long time. They're still trying to get to know each other, and it's like the man, he's still wooing her, like he's still courting her. He's trying to get to know her. So they're both on horseback. They have their own individual horses, and it seems like they're just going out for a stroll, but rather than a stroll, they're just going out for a ride. And once again, it's a countryside, like a very agrarian type of environment. It looks to me like it could be somewhere in Europe. And the horses are moving. It's like the horses are trotting. And the two of them are talking side by side. The horses are going at the same pace. The two of them are talking, getting to know each other, and they're having a screaming good time. Okay, so both of these images, the energy is very soft. It's very joyful. And when I saw these images, I was just thinking about, a sense of sheer contentment. Okay, sheer contentment. So what I'm seeing here when it comes to, the train is the direction of your life. Okay, in a spiritual way, the direction of your life, the way things are going for you in your life, in all areas of your life, in work, with family, with your interpersonal relationships, with your romantic life, with the people that are around you. I see the sense of cooperation. I see the sense of like everyone is looking out the window, looking at the same thing, enjoying this moment, and no one is acting up. No children are crying. No one is upset or stressed out or angry. So there's just this quiet moment where your heart and your mind is very much at peace. Being a water sign, it's kind of a double-edged sword because we're very sensitive, right? And I especially see this with especially Cancers and Pisces. They're a lot more affected by their environment than you are, Scorpio. And when there's like imbalances in the environment, especially tension and negativity, they feel it on a very deep level, and it makes them uncomfortable. And I feel like with you guys are a fixed sign, so the way you exhibit or embody this energy is a little bit different from Cancers and Pisces. But you don't like when things are getting rattled. No one likes the stress of it, right? But I feel like you're able to kind of like be your own anchor, and you're able to ground yourself, whereas the other two signs are not as adept at doing that. And so what's happening around you, you sense it, you feel it, but you don't let it rattle you. But I feel like in this moment, the peace and tranquility and the joy is really emanating from you to other people and from other people to you. So just imagine being a stranger in a in an environment where you're very different from the people around you. But at the same time, there's a sense of hospitality, welcoming, and so you don't feel like you're at odds with them. You don't feel like a stranger. You feel like you fit in. You feel like you belong. Okay. So for many of you, you might be in a situation like a work environment, for example, where people are very different from you. And this could be culturally very different, or even like ideologically very, very different. But it doesn't detract from the fact that everyone is working towards the common purpose, towards a common goal, and they're seeing the big picture and they're appreciative of all the little things that life has to offer. So what I have here is the Three of Crystals. This is the Three of Pentacles, okay? The busy bee, building the beehive. And bees are very, they work in colonies, right? So they work with others that are also building towards a same purpose or a same goal. And this is like someone who's very hardworking, who's very fastidious, and who is very diligent and careful with the things that they do. The bees are programmed to build, you know, the hive in a certain way. It's like this was done before. It's programmed in their DNA to work a certain way, to collaborate, to cooperate. And it's like there's no sense of individuality. Everyone is working towards a common purpose, to build up this colony, to fortify it, to I'm sensing here, to produce something that of greater value. And so there's a lot of collaboration and cooperation coming through from this card. And I also feel like, you know, if in the past there has been disagreements, creative differences that has really stalled or halted or interfere with a production of something, this is going to be clearing up, mainly because now everyone's on the same page and everyone has a role and everyone is assigned certain tasks, so they know where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go. And so we don't have a situation where everyone's out to, you know, work on their own, or everyone's like working at cross purposes with each other. What's showing up in the past here is the Five of Swords. Okay, this is like creative differences, conflict, and not being able to agree, not being able to see eye to eye. But I feel like there is a melting away of this energy to allow for this collaboration and cooperation to build up. And it's building up in such a way where it's happening very fast, very, very quickly. And you're building yourself up to be the Empress. This is, you know, abundance, okay? Having enough in your life. Having enough where you don't have to worry about your finances. You can splurge on nice things. You can afford to, you know, go on dates. You can afford to, like, travel. You can afford to have, like, the nice things in life. Being in a position where you don't have to nickel and dime yourself, where you have to, you know, count your change, or you don't even need to, you know, save up for a rainy day. Having enough and being in a space of abundance. And so I feel both of these cards indicate to me a situation where, you know, definitely finances is looking up. It's looking very good. It's looking to be very stable, and a year for many of you. And what that means to me is sort of like we were aware of what we're working towards, but we're not really aware of the end result. It's sort of like the bees are starting to build that beehive, but they haven't really come together yet. And the building process was parts make up the whole. You're starting to see the big picture. And it feels like the beehive is you know, coming towards a space or a phase of completion, so that you can kind of like, you know, rest on your laurels, kick up your feet and relax a little bit, and not have to mentally strain, not have to deal with these ideological debates, and not have to, there's a really nice, relaxing, calm atmosphere where you can kick up your feet, where I feel at home, I feel at ease, I feel comfortable. Okay, so it took a long time. It took a whole year for you possibly to get to this point. And now that you're here, things are looking really good. And so I feel this sense of total contentment washing over you with everything that you have right now, all the physical things in your environment, the car, the home, the relationship, the people in your life even. Everything is falling into place and everything is as it should be. Okay? What I'm also sensing as well, with this Empress energy, this is like nesting instinct, okay? wanting to create a home. So for many of you, you might be in a position where you're just like, okay, finances are going really well. I'm ready to settle down. Wanting to find a mate is what I'm sensing. Wanting to share your life, your abundance, and your resources with another person. And wanting as well to be in a space where you have I feel like you are ready to open your doors and invite other people into your life, into your home, into your environment, so that you can, build on relationships. Okay, so I keep seeing this bee, and I keep thinking of it as like networking, buzzing, the buzzing of the bee. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of like ideas coming into the picture. A lot of people potentially seeking you out, want to collaborate on this, want to work on that. Here's an opportunity. Do you want to take up the mantle? So I feel like there's a lot of energy being generated, buzzing around you, and it's looking very good. What is underneath this Empress is we have the High Priestess. And I usually look at this as like two very different energies that are harmonious though, okay? Both very feminine, but you could be male or female watching this. It's not gender specific. So the Empress and the High Priestess. The Empress rule the realm of the physical things, the tangible things, the house, the money, the resources. The High Priestess rules the spiritual realm, and this is like being able to be on point with our intuition, relying on our intuition, being able to speak and to heed a higher calling, being able to trust our gut instincts and trust that our instincts will guide us towards the right decision. And I feel like you have been working in this space. This is a space where Scorpio is really comfortable with, because it deals with spirituality, it deals with cause and effect, and it deals with like, the higher order, the law of the land that we have to abide by, being, like honor, loyalty, doing what's right, and not throwing anybody under the bus, not being like duplicitous or sneaky or conniving. So this is kind of like following our intuition, following our moral compass, so that we do the right things under even harsh and difficult situations. And because you have heeded this calling and you have, abided by the rules of the universe, I feel like the universe is coming in and giving you a lot of blessings, and giving you a lot of abundance, because you have played the right way. You have behaved the right way. So I definitely feel here your heart, your soul, and your mind are definitely in alignment. You're not conflicted. You know exactly who you are, what you're supposed to do. And so when we're in alignment, heart, body, and soul, I just feel as if life becomes a lot easier. We're not working at cross purposes with ourselves. Hence, we're not working at cross purposes with other people. And then when we're in alignment, heart, body, and soul, with what we want and what we're doing, the days seem to go by faster. There's less conflict. There's less annoyances, right? And life just flows naturally in a very calm way. And so I feel like you have pretty much achieved something where you are able to kind of like experience this sense of serenity and calmness in all areas of your life, mainly because, heart and mind and body are in alignment, okay? Some of you are taking very good care of yourself. I see people, getting their hair colored, okay? So this is like sprucing up the way that you look with this Empress card. And I'm seeing getting their hair trimmed, getting a haircut, changing the hair color, splurging on even like headdress and headwear, because I'm seeing that bonnet from that woman. Wearing hats, just like coloring your hair, making your hair or styling your hair in a way that is more flattering, having the luxury to indulge in, the finer things in life, where we start to, find things that make us feel physically good, right? And I'm also seeing, like New Year's shopping, even getting a new wardrobe, wanting to look a little bit more sophisticated. So some of you might have gotten like promotions and things like that in a new job, and you're in a position where you might be in the public eye and you're trying to look your best. Not that, you know, these things matter in the greater scheme of things, but I feel like you want to look a certain way. You want to look more sophisticated. You want to look more polished. And I feel that you're, you know, sprucing up the way that you look, mainly because I do sense you're in an environment that might require it, but either way, you're doing it. It's not like you're doing it begrudgingly. You're willingly doing it. And I feel that it's going to do wonders for your self-esteem. And I also feel like a lot of people are, you know, getting into shape, getting into like finding the right diet that works for you. Even dieting, exercising, and just taking really good care of your physical body. Finding the time to do it too, because I feel like you're going to be quite busy. But all of these things are about self-care and self-improvement. And so this spread is screaming out to me a lot about our own sense of divinity and listening to our intuition, okay? We have two cards here that indicate, well, three cards that indicates to me a higher calling, a higher purpose, heeding that calling, heeding that purpose, and not making excuses as to why we are not where we're supposed to be. And what exactly does that mean? What I feel is, well, let me show you the cards. The moon, intuition. This is about clairvoyance. This is about trusting in our gut, our intuition, to guide us on the right path. We have the moon, the high priestess once again. Higher calling, trusting our intuition, having a gut instinct, having a gut reaction with certain things, certain places, certain people, as well as, you know, knowing what we need to do to progress ourselves in our career and work life. And then we have the hermit, getting spiritual advice, messages, coming in like downloads behind the scenes. For whatever reason, I feel like you are spiritually very awakened for this year. You're very hopeful, you're very optimistic, you want to do things the right way, and hence you're getting a lot of psychic hits from the universe telling you what you should do, where you should go. So trust that voice. Whatever messages that are coming through in your life, through song when you're listening to music, through random strangers telling you, you know, check that out or check out this location and things like that. These are not, you know, a series of coincidences. I feel like everything is orchestrated in a way where the universe is trying to deliver messages to you, and they do want you to listen because it's going to guarantee a lot of success for you. And I feel that is very much about, you know, career paths where you're supposed to go. You're going to get a lot of like psychic downloads and psychic hits telling you like to do this, to do that, to take that course of action, to be here, to find yourself in the right place at the right time so that you can experience something, or so that you can reap the benefits of something. So I do feel if you're compelled to take a specific course of action, go for it, because I feel like it's divinely guided for you to be there. And then I also feel if you're hearing from random strangers, so let's just say, okay, this is a real life example, and for some reason, okay, so for the past few years, I have been seeing and looking at things, and I keep hearing this one keyword, this one organization, this one city from like strangers. I keep hearing it over and over and over again. And it happened in a period of a month. And so I did a quick Google search and I looked it up. And I felt like that's where I was supposed to be career-wise, like in that city with that company, with that organization. So if you keep hearing this, I feel like it's your, you know, your spirit guides trying to communicate a message to you and telling you this is where you're supposed to be. This is something you're supposed to research into and look into, because there's something there that is perfectly orchestrated and created just for you. So with this Three of Crystals, this is something that is long in the making, okay? It didn't happen overnight. It's a series of events and choices that needed to kind of like culminate in order to create something that is perfectly just for you. And I feel like for many of you, You might have been working at cross purposes with yourself. Like your head is like, I do want to go for it. And your heart is like, I don't know how that's feasible. So you might have not been able to trust yourself and trust this decision. But I feel like something is happening here, turning over a new leaf even, or ready to see the merit in it. And you're finally trusting that this has, it's like a series of coincidences that has led you to this one place, one location, and you're realizing that you need to trust it. You're hearing it so often that you're starting to see, oh, this is where I'm meant to be. Okay, so I feel like I have here the Two of Wands, okay, and this is in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. It's the man holding the one stick, okay. He's looking, he's got a globe in his hand, he's looking out into the distance, away from this ivory tower. He is someone who's very learned, okay? So somebody who's like ready to get out into the world and ready to experience things. However, he's got like one wand that is behind him, is bolted to the platform. And so this is a kind of like deciding between two things. And it's usually about, should I stay here on this ivory tower where I am protected and I have kind of like a bird's eye view? Should I just stay here with all this knowledge at my disposal? Or am I able to take this knowledge and apply it to the world and make my life better? Or to take a risk by leaving this comfort of this ivory tower and getting into the world to experience things? That's what it feels like to me. And I feel like there has been a decision that you've been mulling over since the 2019, last year time frame plays, to make this dream and to make this step and to make this leap of faith a lot easier for you. So some more ready opportunities just kind of land on your lap. And from one opportunity to the next, you feel like it's prepping you. It's prepping you so that by March, you're going to be ready to take this plunge. Okay? So it seems really hopeful to me. Scorpio, if you've been feeling it, I feel like you can even act on it a lot earlier, because the way energy works is it flows, okay? It flows from it just to do it at a later time. You're still going to be swept along in this energetic flow. And so I guess like the thing that you might be worried about is it the right time? Or, am I too late? Have I missed the boat? Have I missed the current? And I feel that the spiritual message for you here is that energy flows in one direction, the path of least resistance. What might seem to be, I feel like it's a lot easier to get things going for you, to move in the direction that you have always been divinely guided to take last year. But the circumstances were not ready, were not ripe for you to take this opportunity last year. But now the opportunity is still there. And so you can choose to, ride it midstream. You can choose to ride it early on. Whenever you choose, there isn't a right or a wrong. You just need to be in alignment, body and soul, in order to embark on this new phase, okay? So I feel like the message is not about, it's never too late. It's just getting yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul, in sync within yourself so that you can feel 100% ready when you take this step, okay? I understand what it's like to be a fixed sign, where if we're dealing with some type of internal conflict, it can inundate us from acting, right? So for example, if we really want something, like our heart is like 100% in it, but our mind is just like, well, it's not realistic, it's not very feasible, it's not practical. And then we can kind of like very easily talk ourselves out of it. And then because we want it, but then we don't want to take action towards it because it's frivolous, it can create a space where we are like at odds with ourselves. And being at odds as a fixed sign is not something that is easy to live with, okay? And so as a fixed sign, when we want something, we want it really, really bad. And we rarely want something badly. And so I feel like, if your heart is so much invested in it, but your mind is telling you otherwise, it can be a difficult like state of being for a fixed sign. So I feel like there's something you is. And I'm sensing that, you know, the doorway is opening up, and you're feeling a lot more ready, a lot more certain. You're no longer conflicted about this decision, and you're ready to embark on this phase where you're leaving the ivory tower, flying away from the nest, okay? Leaving the ivory tower to embrace this opportunity because you know it is made just for you. Okay, so that's pretty much the first 6 cards. Let me talk about the second image because it's kind of coming out in the second 4 cards. We have here the Page of Shells. This is the Page of the Page of Cups. Okay, your energy, a tree frog, and we also have the Knight of Shells, which is the Knight of Cups. So let me talk about. I see a shyness. Scorpios, as a water sign, you hide it very well, but you do have this shyness about you, this innocence, this, I want to say, it's like, the words that I'm hearing is, like, oh, this person offended my sensibilities, okay? They might have said something very crass, and it made you feel embarrassed. So I feel like, you know, people who get embarrassed easily, they are innately shy. Even though it might not show up on your face, even though you hide it really, really well, and you're able to mask it up, and you're able to change the subject, you're able to, you know, flip the script. You're able to hide this side of you really well, and I feel like you don't like to be embarrassed because it makes you feel vulnerable. But I do see this energy of someone who's very shy and someone who is potentially gets embarrassed quite easily when someone is talking about like either a really crass topic or talking about, you know, just things that like something very emotional, like sharing details about themselves. I feel that it can make you feel quite embarrassed. But I don't feel like there's anything bad associated with it. So let me talk about this Page of Shells, this Page of Cups. The Page of Cups energy, this tree frog, is like somebody who's spreading, who's like venturing out into the world. Okay, so like it's a very new energy. It's a very innocent love, like being with somebody where the love is really pure, the love is very innocent. You just enjoy each other's company. And then I also feel like, you know, there's no resentment, there's no ulterior motives, there's no game playing, okay? Everything is pretty much like an open book, okay? So if you think of like puppy love, it's like literally like a puppy. It's somebody who's very loyal, who's very sweet, who loves you with total abandonment, okay? Dogs, they just love the human companions. And they're programmed that way. That's the way that they're made. They don't love with strings attached. They don't come to you with fear. And even, it's so sad, even if dogs have been beaten by their owners, they still love them. And so I feel like, you know, there's a level of love here that is very exalted. It's very pure. It's very sweet. And then I also feel as well, you're in a position where you're thinking about, you know, taking the relationship to the next level. I have the Empress right next to the Page of Cups. And I feel like it's an escalation in a love relationship, okay? Meeting somebody who loves you in a very pure way. You love them in a very pure way. There's no strings attached. No one is keeping scores. There's no pettiness and game playing in this connection. It's very pure. And both parties are able to really give of themselves. The problem here, and not so much a problem, but it's just like an observance, an observation. I feel like one person is, so I feel like the feelings are very much the same. You like them as much as I like you. It's very reciprocal, right? But I feel as if you're I do sense, though, you're holding back in this connection a little bit, okay? I have here the Hermit. And the Hermit is like somebody who really likes their space, their independence, their own time, their freedom, their free time especially. It's somebody who needs a lot of time alone in order to recharge. And when I look at this koala bear, I see this kind of like embarrassed, shy energy. It's like, and the Page of Cups is also very childlike and very shy. And so I feel like you're hesitant about moving into a connection because it's very new. You could be very shy. You could be the younger person in a relationship, or there might be an age difference in the relationship. The other person, the way they come across here, is the Empress. This is someone who's very attractive, okay? This is someone who's self-made. This is someone who's very successful. So, you know, they could be really beautiful. They could be very extravagant. Not in a bad way, but like, you know, they look good. They smell good. They spend money on themselves. They have a lot of financial abundance. They just, it's like supermodel status. It's somebody who looks really, really good. They have a lot of suitors. And then I also feel, you know, with this energy, you're looking at each other, the Empress and the Page of Shells. It's like kissing a frog. You are not sure whether or not you are beautiful enough. You're not sure whether or not you're attractive enough. You're not sure whether or not you're financially stable enough to be with this person. And so I feel a situation where your insecurities might be coming out. And I feel like it's, in the greater scheme of things, I don't think this person cares. The Empress is somebody that is very capable of taking care of him or herself, okay? They don't need another person to take care of them. They don't need another person to pay their bills, to, you know, buy them a car, to buy them jewelry. They're able to take care of these things on their own. So they're looking for somebody, they're looking for just a relationship partner. And they don't really settle for games. This is somebody who's really clear about what they want. They want a relationship. They want a status. And they have high standards as well. They're not going to settle for any, you know, anybody off the street who's willing to give them a relationship. I feel like they have standards. They're picky. And they're saving themselves for the Emperor. They're saving themselves for someone who is on their equal footing. And I feel like there's a hesitancy about you, and you're not really sure whether or not, you know, whether or not you are ready to be in a relationship with this person, and you're not sure whether you're on equal footing with this person. Equal footing. I'm seeing this, you know, the flamingos. Yeah, flamingos. They stand on one foot. Okay, so I feel like they're sturdy and they're stable, but they always stand on one foot. And so I feel there's an element here about, you know, I'm not sure if I'm on equal footing with the other person. I'm not sure if we're on par. And then I also feel like for some of you, there might be an age difference where you're falling for someone who's significantly older. They might have children. And so you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to be a mother or a father to these kids. And I feel like the love is really there, and you can see the potential in this relationship, like long-term potential, and even marriage further down the line for many of you. But you're not really sure if you're able to take on that task. It's not about you not wanting to. You want to, but I feel that you might not feel like you're ready. You might not feel like financially you're where you want to be. You're not sure if you can provide them with everything that they want. And just keep in mind, Scorpios, a relationship is, you know, is a two-way street, okay? No one should take care of another person. And so I feel that your partner doesn't really need you to take care of them. And you likewise should not need a partner to take care of you. I feel like it needs to be approached from a very egalitarian standpoint. Otherwise, the relationship won't work. And you are very aware of this, so I feel like I don't need to tell you this. And I feel like, you know, this is something you're very conscious of. But I do sense that there is a shyness and a hesitation from your end, because this is somebody who's very serious-minded. They know exactly what they want. The Empress and the High Priestess. This is like, the ideal person, someone who, you know, operates from a space of mental clarity. They listen to their intuition, and then they also have a lot of abundance as well. So I do sense, you know, it's I'm also seeing a very strong pregnancy vibe. So for those of you who are not looking to have children, or you know, just be careful about that, okay? And so I have here the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is a situation where the way it's depicted in this card, it is just it talks about determination and stamina, but in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's a man. He's fighting off all the other wands that are being thrown at him, right? He's like knocking it all off. So in a way, I feel that you have to overcome your insecurities. You have to battle and kind of blast through and kind of like shake off all those all of those self-limiting beliefs that you have regarding this person and your ability to be a good partner. And it's like all the negative thoughts that are coming through or creeping through as a result of this relationship, to really give this relationship the benefit of the doubt, to really give this person a clean slate. And, you know, we all carry baggage from the past. For some of you, you might have been married in the past, and for whatever reason, if that relationship ended, it left a bitter taste in your mouth. And so you're approaching a new relationship, and you're dealing with someone who's a lot more level-headed and clear about what they want. But I do feel like you're skittish. You're kind of not sure if you want to go through the spiel again. You're not really sure if you want to, if you're going to be open and vulnerable and put yourself in a position where you can, you know, like get into another relationship, get married. So you're not really sure. And I feel like there's a lot of hesitation. I also feel for many of you, you haven't been dating for a really long time. And so you're kind of like getting your foot back in, testing the waters, digging around to see what options are available. And you have somebody here that is quite abundance, okay? But you feel like you've been away from the dating game for so long. You're a little bit conscientious, self-conscious as well. Not conscientious, you're self-conscious. And you might feel a little bit awkward, a little bit out of the loop, a little bit like, I'm not sure what to talk about. I'm not sure where we're going to go. I'm not sure how this whole dating thing is going to pan out. But going back to the message where I mentioned the image, you know, that couple, it's a new couple. It's a new couple. They're still in the courtship stage. They're getting to know each other, and they're having a screaming good time, you know, trotting on their horses. So I feel like if you're in a position where you're just like, I don't want to do like a dinner and a movie or a dinner date, because then we have to look at each other. It can feel really uncomfortable. We might run out of topics to talk about. Find something that is a little bit more outdoorsy, so that you can like enjoy not only the physical activity, but also enjoy your partner or the new relationship in a very lighthearted way, so that there aren't a lot of expectations. I feel like it's going to go a lot better, okay? So that's all I have for you here, Scorpio. I think it's going to be a really wonderful month. I see you having a really good time. You're going to really enjoy this month, and especially working with other people, collaborating with other people, getting to know new people, okay? I'm going to leave it at that, and I will be back for your February reading. Take care of yourself, okay? And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.